Welcome to the podcast Beyond the Ballot, a Lone Wolf production. This is where we will showcase local politics by featuring people that are either candidates or elected officials. We will discuss important community issues, try to ask some questions that our viewers may have posted, and learn of what their political platform entails. Today's episode is sponsored by Win Local. Win Local is a marketing automation company that provides easy-to-use, easy-to-implement solutions for local businesses, professionals, and politicians that help them use today's most popular technologies to engage with the customers, prospects, referral partners, and potential voters within their local markets. Our software with a service approach provides all the benefits today's technology provides without the hassle of learning new and implementing it on your own. Please visit their website at winlocal.com. I'm proud to announce today our guest, Kevin O'Keefe, who's the candidate for Westchester County Legislator of District 4. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Dominique. I appreciate it.
So I mentioned Kevin is running for Westchester County Legislator of District 4, which consists of Somers, Yorktown, Newcastle, and Ossining. Kevin, I want to talk briefly about your background before we discuss your campaign for legislator. There is a common theme here about your character, feeling compelled to spring into action to make a change. I read that the tragic events of 9/11 prompted you to join the Marines.
Yes, it sure did. As a young kid or a teenager growing up in New York City and seeing that happen to the Trade Center, it made me feel like I needed to join the military and take action, right? It was something that joined the Marine Corps, did my 4 years, came out as a sergeant, and I think in my 4 years in the Marine Corps, built a lot of character as far as the man who I am today, But with that being said, I just felt like, for me and others who I joined at that time, or even now, when you join the military, you kind of want to be a positive influence on society, or a positive influence to, positive contributor to society, which, it's part of my character, so.
Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. We'll get into that, in a little bit. I know words seem inconsequential in relation to what you did for this country, and I want to thank you for your service and all your sacrifices.
Well, thank you for your appreciation.
Let's talk about your professional life. You were employed by the Local 46 Metallic Lathers and Reinforcing Iron Workers. You had been elected to the executive board, then elected as vice president, and most recently you were elected to the position of business agent. How do you think this prepares you for the role of legislator?
Well, as you said, I was elected in my professional career. I was elected in 2014, 2017, 2020, and most recently in 2023. So I have my members that had put their faith into me, and for me to be reelected for a position like that, I guess would kind of say I'm doing the right job, right? So I think kind of bringing that atmosphere from what I do within my local union and bringing it over to a county level to represent constituents in the county. And I guess it's just something I'm passionate about. I really just kind of want to be that public servant, so to say, right? Or, I kind of want to just back to relating to why an individual joins the military or why an individual does these certain things. I feel like that I really just want to kind of do the right thing for the county. And if anybody's going to do something, it's kind of like that saying, like, then why not do it yourself, right? Or if you want to do something positive and you kind of looking from the outside looking in and you're like, well, hey, wait, I don't agree with that. Or you could just agree and disagree with so many things. But I guess with somebody like me, I want to do something about it. I want to be the representative for individuals that think like us or, feel that certain things should happen within the county. And if I could do that in a positive light, then so be it,
Take the reins, right? You want to take the reins.
Yes, I'd like to take the reins. I guess that's a good way of putting it, right?
So I'll admit I'm new to the political game as well and its intricacies. So how many members comprise the Westchester County Board of Legislators, and how long is the term? And lastly, what are the responsibilities of a county legislator?
So there's 17 districts in Westchester County. Each district has a legislator. So therefore, you would have 17 legislators within the county. There's only one Republican out of 17 districts.
Seems a little off balance.
Well, I mean, listen, this is what the constituents voted for in each district, right? I mean, but I don't think you'd ever have a one party government, right? But yeah, so with the county legislator, a lot of part of what their job entails is voting on laws and resolutions that affect the county, that affect its residents and municipalities. Reviewing and approving the county's budget involves understanding funding allocations, expenditures through the departments and services. A big part of it, too, is monitoring the performance and the efficiency of the county agencies, ensuring that they comply with laws and regulations. A big part of being a legislator, too, is I think is public engagement, going out to the people, not necessarily calling it a town hall, but there's no, there shouldn't be any problem to where a legislator that represents his district should be out there speaking to his constituents on Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, whether it be in a diner or at the fair, because the only way you're really going to make certain things better within the county is by listening to the people that live there. So, yeah.
So obviously you're pro-union. That goes without being said. And recently you showed your support and stood side by side with labor leaders from the Teamsters and the Teachers Union to fix Tier 6. Could you explain what fix Tier 6 is?
So the Tier 6 pension, in a nutshell, what it comes down to is the municipalities have this pension plan. It's not something that what it was. For instance, if it were 10 or 15 years ago, members would be contributing towards their plan and receiving a better benefit from it. Currently, right now, from what I understand, the union members are contributing more to a plan and they're not receiving the better benefit from what it was in the past. So, but yeah, if there's any issue within the local unions, as far as in my profession, and even before I was an elected business agent within the union, you got to show up for certain things, right? You gotta fight the good fight, and if something's wrong, you gotta stand up to it, and you got to make it better. So in that case, when I did show up along with candidate for District 1, Kevin Burns, and County Legislator James Nolan, who's a Teamster himself, works for the Yonkers Sanitation. It's when there's an issue arising to where you need to show up in numbers, then you show up in numbers. And that's what I did.
So I know Kevin from being involved with fighting the proposal of the 116 megawatt lithium battery facility in Mayapack, Somers. I think the community members and yourself know more about lithium battery facilities more than you care to know. You have become a walking encyclopedia about the tremendous safety and health hazards that these facilities pose. That being said, you dedicated over a year to fighting this proposal and ultimately being victorious, sparing our community from these best bombs, because that's what they are, ticking time bombs. And once again, revisiting the theme of you springing into action, I'm assuming this may have prompted you to throw your hat in the ring for legislator.
Yes, it was actually a big part of what provoked me to wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm going to run for county legislator. Seeing the people come out in numbers and coming together under one common cause was phenomenal to see. It was inspiring, to be honest with you. It really inspired me to say, hey, you know what? Like I think we were onto something here. And as a community, I'm bipartisan too. It wasn't just one part. It was, it was residents. Party affiliation did not matter. It seems like it's becoming a political ping pong ball. The green energy facilities and things like that. But here's my strong opinion on it. There's just no way that these sort of facilities should be in residential neighborhoods. Like, that's it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Like, you could tell me, oh, we'll put 500 feet, a code on it, 500 feet, 1,000 feet. Like, no, like it just end of story. Right. It should not be in residential areas. Okay.
So an absolute ban on these battery facilities, these lithium battery facilities.
Yes. I think if it were, well, it also comes to the municipalities, like the towns too, right? I mean, it's up to the town to make that decision. As far as a county legislator, I think, in that position, you can influence certain things to ban BESS facilities, but it really comes down to the town making that decision. I know the town of Carmel had banned it. Somers had banned it. Yorktown is currently going through the process of what their decision will be. But you also kind of have to listen to both sides of the story too, right? So who in their right mind would want something like this in the residential area, and who in their right mind would fight to have it in that area? And the only answer is it's for their personal gains or their incentives, right? So just my strong opinion is you can't put these in residential areas, and if it were up to me at a county level, I would want to make more people aware in county government that this isn't okay.
Kevin, you spoke in April at the Westchester County Legislators meeting. What was your message?
So my message was everything. I mean, everything that I had said there was all the truths about why we shouldn't be having these battery energy storage systems in our residential neighborhoods. I wanted to get it on record in front of the county legislator. I wanted to make them aware of the circumstances of having these things in your backyard, which is kind of funny. I mean, I don't think I'm the only person to really speak on it, but why haven't we heard anything from the county legislators within the district, right?
I mean, when we were fighting the good fight, I didn't even know any of those people. Any of these legislators. I never even seen them at any of the events that we had, any of the protests, the rallies, the meetings, the town hall meetings. I'm not even aware of these people, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, maybe in their defense, they kind of wanted to just leave it to the local, to where, the town will make those decisions. And that's important too, home rule, leaving it to the town to decide on their issues is very important, to where maybe a government of higher authority shouldn't have to step in.
That's very nice of you to say that, but I'm going to say that's a little bit of a cop-out, because I remember Town Supervisor Scarano showing up at the town hall meetings that we had. And that, that's not where he resides.
Right.
So I just think that they should have been present. We were very vocal, and this was a serious issue that we were facing, and it was had a high potential for danger. So I think regardless, they should have showed up.
Well, that's a good point, and and I think I had said earlier, public engagement is important. Like, at least come to the constituents or come to the residents and say, hey, this is the issue, and this is what I can do about it.
There's not hear you.
Like, whether there's right. not so much I could do or what I want to do, or, explain to us what's going on. We never got that explanation. We had to go out on our own and do our own research, and even hire a land use attorney to kind of give us the ins and outs of, the zoning laws and things like that. Like, I mean, what do we know?
Right.
Right. I mean, if somebody could just could have just given us some
Guided us.
insight
Yeah.
or guided us. I mean, and that's important. As a county legislator, you want to gather the input from the constituents in your district. Like, what the heck else was going on in the district that was more important than this? And with that being said, I mean, there's going to be so many issues coming down the pike. And I would like to be that individual to come to the constituents and say, hey, this is what we have going on here. This is what I can do about it. And you know what? There's not so much I can do about it. Like, the truth hurts sometimes too. Like, but you got to be truthful. You can't just jump through hoops and neglect certain things.
And be accessible and responsive to your constituents.
Yes.
Be present.
Yes, which is very important. So
yeah.
But
which is the feeling that I didn't get at that moment, to be honest with you.
Right. It was a feeling that none of us had gotten until you go through it. Then you understand, like, well, hey, I don't think anybody should have to go through this again. And if you could do something about it, then run for county legislator. Be that individual where, people could rely on you to give them that information, and to give them some insight, because that's what you should be doing. That's what they're relying on you.
Right.
They're putting their faith
in the dark.
You don't want to be kept in the dark, right? So
I just want to take a brief moment to kindly thank the sponsor for today's episode, Win Local. Win Local is a marketing automation company that provides easy-to-use, easy-to-implement solutions for local businesses, professionals, and politicians that help them use today's most popular technologies to engage with the customers, prospects, referral partners, and potential voters within their local markets. Our software with a service approach provides all the benefits today's technology provides without the hassle of learning new and implementing it on your own. Please visit their website at winlocal.com. Okay, so now we've reached the part of the episode where we incorporate questions that we have received from followers. The first question is the following. Are there any committees in particular or policy areas that you are most interested in serving on, and why?
Well, that's a great question. There's many committees that legislators take a part in. One thing I kind of, I've always had a thing for representation, for fair representation for our veterans, veterans committees. I've also have, I think the parks and recreation is important to upkeep in the county. We are very fortunate to where we do have a lot of parks, and maintaining them and, making it accessible to the constituents to get to, and our trailways and, things like that are important to protect.
Another question that we received was, if you are elected as county legislator, how would you go about lowering the sales tax, which in turn would promote economic growth for Westchester County?
Well, in northern Westchester, we do have high taxes. The cost of living is pretty high. I think, why not? I mean, if you could curb the spending in other areas within the county, if you could collectively save on the back end to where you could help the constituents to eliminate sales tax completely, like a sales tax week in Christmas or sales tax week in around when the kids are going to school, the back to school sales, right? I mean, I think that would really help constituents to kind of keep a little extra money in their pocket. I mean, it's kind of like a common sense thought or idea. Mm-hmm. But also, like, why hasn't it happened yet? Now, and I don't know because I'm not there, but I mean, it's something maybe we could look into, if it's going to help the constituents, I'm all for it.
And the last question from a follower that we received was, how do you plan to engage with your constituents and gather their input on legislation matters?
Well, I think it's what I've been saying. Engaging with your constituents is very important, whether it's showing up to a local town hall to speak on certain matters, to listen what the constituents are saying at the podium, and kind of just tallying down, certain things that they're going through to be able to bring that to the county, at the table and, nip those certain things in whatever the issues are, right? Whatever those issues are, I mean, it's your job to, fix it, and getting out there, speaking to the constituents is very important. So
I think a lot of times the thought, the idea of being a public servant is lost among people that are actually elected in that position. They kind of forget.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. I think just like anything else, I mean, if you're in a position for so long, you kind of forget where you come from, and yeah,
Before we conclude this episode, are there any other campaign talking points or a final message that you would like to discuss?
No, I think we kind of nailed some things here on the podcast. I'd like to let the watchers know, if you want to follow me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I have Instagram, social media. I have a website, www.o'keefeforwestchester.com with the number 4. So you could read a biography about me and upcoming events or current events that I'm getting myself involved with. So, but yeah, I think you're just going to be seeing a lot of me, and that's just part of what I want to do.
So when is the general election?
The general election is November 4th, and early voting starts on October 25th.
There you have it, folks. Kevin O'Keefe, a candidate for Westchester County Legislator District 4, a person of great integrity that's fought for community safety, simply a person with common sense and a no-nonsense approach. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, and I hope you will come back on before the general election. If anyone, a small business owner or individual, would be interested in sponsoring future episodes, please contact us for details. Thank you for watching the podcast Beyond the Ballot. Like, subscribe, and leave your comments or any questions you might have for our future guests. Thank you.
Bye-bye.